every deal is going to have crap. You know, every deal is going to have those check boxes, and identifying what they are on the front end and just being realistic about what those mean towards your debt terms. That's like the realest that you can be with yourself, and determining kind of what kind of debt you can get is being realistic with what those check boxes are and where does that fall in the range, and which we'll talk about here in a second. But ultimately, you know, long story short, the deal, we ended up getting in with a LifeCo that is a bridge lender. It goes down to $250,000. And if it's got the cash flow, so which this property did have the cash flow, the rent roll showed, the collections and the bank statement showed that we had the cash flow. Bridge lenders typically don't need the verified financials because they go off of pro forma. You know, your conventional lenders, if you try to get them to go off of pro forma, you're gonna have a hard time, your leverage is gonna be decreased, etc. So this bridge lender, you know, has a lower DSCR that they underwrite to, not as many like hard number requirements, and a quick close, which is everything that we needed, and they don't really care about the market. Borrower was strong enough, had the cash flow, so we actually got an 8.25% fixed rate deal, interest only for 2 years. Now, we paid 2 points to get into the deal, but that cash flow is better than 6.75 on a 25. And it bought him 2 years of time to let the debt markets chill out and get a little more stabilized. And there's no exit penalty, which if he would have paid for a refinance penalty anyway. So whenever, you know, ultimately the numbers, he was still in the black within a reasonable amount of time. It made sense to go bridge, and that's just not a lens that he had prior. We ended up executing on that deal, and he's a happy camper at the moment.
I don't know who this person was, but I can relate to him because I hear 2 points and 8.25%, and I'm like, screw you, I can get cheaper money than that. But if you picked up on what Cody just said, 6.75% conventional amortized over 25 years with a prepayment penalty on the back end was actually more expensive and didn't cash flow as well as the bridge loan that felt more expensive.
Because you also have to factor in, if I would have locked in the, you know, 7.5%, 8.5% rate today, that's 5 years. I mean, maybe the prepay burns off, but the interest rates, if you look at the economics in the forward curve, and this gets in, you know, the forward curve of these indexes gets a little more sophisticated, but start determining like what rate can I fix in 2 years, you know, and that rate, you know, if we just sized it up at 5.5 or 6 as opposed to 7.5 across a 5-year deal, that was way cheaper. Right. Across a 5-year, you know, cost of doing business was cheaper.